Emerald Fennell, your director, says she would like for this film to be the next generation's Titanic.
Ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way.
Before we get started here, I need y'all to understand that I did not go to the movie theater to see this movie hating. No, I did not. There was no hate in my heart when I got there. What y'all need to understand is, I like Jacob Elordi. Big fan. I told y'all, I think that's white people's best work. So when the trailer first dropped for Wuthering Heights and everybody lost their minds because Jacob Elordi was playing Heathcliff, as a gal who had never bothered to watch any of the million other Wuthering Heights adaptations or to read the book that I absolutely do have in my home on the shelf where I could see it, I did not know what all the fuss was about. I was quickly informed that Heathcliff was race swapped, but even still, I know previous Wuthering Heights fan, so that wasn't my business. But this weekend, out the random, I decided I wanted to go see a few movies back to back like when I was a kid and my parents would drop me and my sisters off to the movie theaters for the about their business. Only this time I had to drive myself. So first I went to see They Will Kill You, which I also hated, but that's a conversation for another video if y'all are interested. But I went to see They Will Kill You at one theater. Then I drove 40 minutes away to the only theater still showing Wuthering Heights near me because I wanted to make up for the fact that 2 weeks before that, in my quest to support women directors, especially when their films are being slandered online, I bought tickets to go see The Bride at the only theater still showing it 40 minutes away. But I fell asleep and I missed what ended up being my last opportunity to see it before they stripped it from the theaters. My God, they don't even give movies a chance no more, child. So this weekend I said to myself, you know what? Let me go watch the one movie by a woman director that was getting dragged online that is my last chance to see. So I drove the 40 minutes away to that theater with only 3 rows of seats that still only managed to fill 3 individual seats, including myself, to go see Wuthering Heights. And I went with no hate. Absolutely no hate in my heart. Matter of fact, not only was there no hate in my heart, I had all the faith in the world that Jacob Elordi's fine, talented ass was going to be so good in the role that I was going to have to acknowledge that it was a good movie despite the popular public opinion and why it is up that they race swapped that man. When I tell y'all, I hated this shit from start to finish. Oh my, from start to finish. My God, like I actually almost left several times. Almost got up and left the movie that I paid to see with my money. The last time I walked out of a theater, it was to see a up Star Wars. And before that, I was a child and it was Osmosis Jones.
I like them underage.
I say that to say, that's a rarity, you know, but I got up several times and was like, okay, Lord, when I tell y'all, the public ain't never been more right about something in their life. But before I tell you how right they were and drag this movie for filth, let me tell you about this video sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free website and app where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. And ZocDoc is not just for one type of care. They have more than 100,000 providers across nearly every specialty, from primary care to dental health, eye care to urgent care, and more. It is the one-stop shop for all of your healthcare needs. No need to go call doctor's offices and wait on hold either. ZocDoc lets you do everything online. I always make sure to let y'all know that I have been using ZocDoc since I was in college, long before I ever had a platform, which is why I particularly love being sponsored by them, because I genuinely have no idea how people book all their medical appointments without ZocDoc, calling all kind of people and saying, I don't have time. No, baby. Ain't no way I could be doing all that when I can click on ZocDoc and be shown any and every doctor who takes my insurance for whatever I need to see them for and all their availability and book all my appointments right then and there for free. Y'all hear me? For free, completely free. It is so easy, which is why I've been using ZocDoc since Adam. Plus, they help you get appointments fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. And you can even get you some same-day appointments, which I definitely have. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/AlearnNaughtyPop. Also linked in the description to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. Here's the first thing that should help y'all understand how bad this shit was. And that's the fact that regardless of whether you gave a about Wuthering Heights or read it before, watched it before, or gave a about the backlash to Jacob Elordi's casting, the moment the movie begins, it's abundantly clear why Heathcliff not only wasn't white, couldn't be white. And it only got worse once Heathcliff transitioned from child to adult and Jacob Elordi assumed the role. My God. I need y'all to understand something. If y'all want to tell original stories, you want to tell a love story that's just for horny people who want to see Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi, just write an original screenplay. And I'm not even blaming the individual writers or directors or anything like that. I'm blaming Hollywood that feels the need to constantly recycle old IP instead of tell original stories. So people feel the need to have to do bullshit like adapt a thing into some amalgamation nonsense that is this. But I need y'all to understand this. Even if the movie had been an original work, not based on an adaptation, you would have still been sitting there thinking about Heathcliff being white because the shit didn't make no sense. Even Bridgerton know better than to try that kind of And another thing, they know Margot ass was too old to play what was supposed to be a little ass girl too. I ain't gonna get on her too much, but Margot was there looking every bit of 30-something, playing like she and Heath was just recently the youth. Don't piss me off, yo. Look here, listen to me and listen to me good. Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie are talented motherfuckers who can do many things, okay? But what Jacob Elordi cannot do is appear to be or convince us that he is an oppressed, basically indentured servant. There's nothing that makes a lick of sense about a white gal calling another white person their pet. And there is no amount of suspended disbelief that can lead us to believe that this 6-foot-something gorgeous white man is relegated to a life of oppression with no access to mobility.
Bruh.
Please stop the nonsense. The character is so painfully, obviously a person of color, it's nuts. Everything about the context to everything, it's just like, why is a white man in a wig? This shit is so ridiculous, and it is made more ridiculous by them thinking that throwing a wig on Jacob Elordi was all they had to do to give us minority. Do you know how bad the changes they made to the book had to be that they stuck out to me as a who didn't read the book? I promise you, something would happen or a character would emerge and I would instantly know, ain't no way this make no sense. Ain't no way that's how it was originally. This gotta be the thing that changed. And I would Google it, and sure enough, it's a nonsensical and almost offensive change to the book. Because y'all want me to believe this white woman, Kathy, cannot be with the borderline slave who is a 6-foot-something white Adonis because she must marry the rich brown man next door.
It's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna, nah, it ain't gonna work.
I didn't have to read the book to know that they race swapped her white husband to be a brown man because it doesn't make any sense. And here's my thing, choosing to cast what's supposed to be a brown male romantic lead whose race is essential to the original story into a white man whilst changing Kathy's servant and her husband whose races aren't consequential to the story into brown people tells me that what was most important to the filmmakers was not the story, but selling a romance to the public, which they decided would be more palatable if the character was white. Because making him white up the entire story substantively, but they did it because the primary goal of this movie and its entire marketing campaign was to twist a relationship into a love story, which it was never meant to be and couldn't be, no matter how many pretzels they twist themselves into, because this relationship was up, and it was made even more up by the fact that in the actual Wuthering Heights, we're supposed to know it's up. But in this movie, they were trying their hardest to convince us it wasn't up, which made it more up. More up how, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. And because I don't hate your guts, I'm not gonna take 2 hours and 11 minutes of your life you can never get back to tell you. But before I do, let me make myself clear. I did not just hate the movie because I'm in moral opposition to the relationship between Heathcliff and Kathy. I didn't just hate the movie for race swapping a brown character because they thought a white man was more desirable and thus easier to bring people out to the theater. No. If the shit was genuinely good or entertaining in absolutely any way, I would acknowledge that. But it wasn't. It was boring as okay? It didn't make sense, and it was long and boring. It dragged the on, and the absolutely only reason why anyone would ever find this movie entertaining is if either Jacob Elordi or Margot Robbie do it for them. But even then, I'd be shocked if you enjoyed this, because I think Jacob Elordi fine as shit, and I was over this bullshit, okay? Fine as he is, beautiful as Margot is, that did not stop me from almost leaving the theater and going home 3 times, okay? Anyway, let me just tell y'all exactly what happened in this movie so y'all can understand just how up they had me, yeah? The movie started with them hanging in the town square, who may or may not have been Heathcliff Daddy, I don't even know, but it didn't matter no how. So then Kathy Daddy decides to take in Heathcliff, claiming to feel bad for him. But I don't know how bad you could feel for him if you deciding to make him a slave. And not only that, you letting your daughter call him her pet and give him a name. The gal named, this little girl named a living, breathing child who born with a name after her dead brother. Just start calling him, I'm gonna call him Heathcliff after my fucking brother.
Jesus Christ.
What kind of foundation for a love story that could be? It can't, which is why it wasn't truly in the book. It was the foundation of a f***ed up relationship that spawns more f***ed up things that you're supposed to know are f***ed up. Anyway, so they grow up together, girl and slave, and we supposed to believe that they quietly in love, but she can't be with him because he's beneath her and she need a rich man. So by the time they old and her daddy done gamble all the money away, she woos the man next door into proposing to her. She accepted the proposal, but she didn't want to marry him because she was in love with Heathcliff. But Heathcliff here talking aloud about this to the next servant about how she can't be with him because he's a bum. So he take off and disappear on her. So she married a man next door and she living rich, living good. He taking good care of her and being good to her. She, him, and who is essentially his younger sister, Isabella. So when you look, Heathcliff returned and now he rich, which makes sense because he was a white man all along. But now he rich and also mad as still because she chooses next door of him. So how good she was just doing. Kathy started cheating on her husband with Heathcliff and they all over the place, which is the entire purpose of this movie. That's the only reason you would watch this movie, which is why it's the only thing they cared about. It's the only thing they marketed around. But anyway, so she Heathcliff all over the place. Mind you, she pregnant for her husband at the time. And when you look, her husband realized they having an affair and forbid it from continuing. So to spite her, Heathcliff marries her daughter-in-law, Isabella, because Kathy had told him that Isabella was infatuated by him. And let's let the record reflect that Kathy is a real bitch. Isabella was nothing but kind and sweet to her, and is a child to her. But soon as Isabella missing like Heathcliff, Kathy get nasty and wicked. So anyway, Heathcliff tell Isabella he could marry her and treat her dead stink because all he would do is make Kathy jealous. So he marries Isabella and abuses the out of her, which would be true to the book where Heathcliff is in fact an abusive monster. But abusive monster don't work when you're trying to sell some bullshit as a love story. So they try and spin it into like, oh, she likes the abuse. It's a kink. She into it.
My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
So he abusing the out of this little girl and forcing her to write letters to Kathy on his behalf, begging for attention. Whole time Kathy, other servant Nellie, burning up all the letters because she does not entertain. But while all this is happening, Kathy is in the house carrying on like she see her ma and pa get dismembered in front of her. She wailing and carrying on around her house because she can't go her side. She carry on so bad till she must carry her baby and die from complications. At which point Heathcliff come crying and screaming over the body, and the movie end like these two lovers were torn apart and a tragic end. Whole time these two horrible people in a horrible movie that I can't believe I waste my time seeing. And that's it. That's the movie. Barely anything happened, but it was stupid, boring, nonsensical, and took forever.
And my day is ruined.
They romanticized the out of abuse, obsession, oppression, and trauma, and figured if they packaged it in Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie was could be so horny they could go for it. But not me.
No, sir, not me.
Like I say, it's not even a moral thing. You can have a great story filled with morally bankrupt characters that give us something to talk about and dissect and all that, but this shit was ass. When I tell y'all it ended and the only other two people in the theater with me, who happened to be older black women, just started giggling to themselves going, that's it? That was the movie? And when I tell y'all, when I walk out, I must have was shaking my head so visibly the black boy working at the theater saw me and immediately knew, so he started laughing and talking about it. I legitimately hated that movie. Like, I would never watch it again. Like, actually, I created a Fandango account just so I could rate it low. Because there's literally no way. I can't believe I put myself through that and I never would again. This really needs to be a lesson to Hollywood that Jacob Elordi cannot save all y'all's ideas. So stop that bullshit y'all have planned for Scarface right the now.
Learn something from this.
Y'all, your girl is nominated for a Webby Award. I am nominated in the category for Best Narrative, Storytelling, or Writing, and I need y'all to vote for me. Let's bring your girl a Webby. You can click the link in the description below, or we have a QR code right on the screen to make life easy. Go ahead and vote for yours truly. If you enjoyed the video you just watched, it's your lucky day because you just found it on one of 7 channels inside my Olurinati-verse. Subscribe to Olurinati, my flagship channel, where you'll find my magnum opuses like If Pretty is a Privilege, Ugly is a Curse, How This Didn't Age Well, destroyed media literacy, how men become Aziz Ansari, and more. Subscribe to Olay Pop for my TV and film essays on shows like How I Met Your Mother, Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, You, Euphoria, Insecure, and so many more. You can also join Olay Pop on Patreon to watch all of my YouTube videos uncensored. Subscribe to Olay Bites for short, serious, and nuanced commentary on whatever the internet is spiraling about. Subscribe to Olay and Chill if you're trying to laugh and chill while unpacking the latest TikTok chaos. Subscribe to Olay Politics for sharp breakdowns of the political moments shaping our lives right now. Subscribe to Olay Extras for music commentary and industry deep dives. Subscribe to Olay and Friends to watch your favorite Black thinkers and creators dissect the culture. Subscribe to any or all the channels in the Olay-verse that speak to you, and I'll see you there. And you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky at Olay. And you can also follow Olay Pop and Olay and Chill on Instagram and TikTok so you never miss a thing. I've been going to the movie theater a lot lately, so if you like this video and would like more film reviews like this of new movies I'm seeing in theaters, let me know in the comments below and we can make this a thing. For now, click on one of my videos being recommended on the screen and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a thing.